What's up, guys? Peter von Panda here. Hey, I want to show you something, and I want to explain why I like offset backup iron sights. And this is my real world example. I just have a piece of Picatinny rail here, and I've put on some flip up, kind of typical straight up and down backup iron sights, and then I've also put on these offset iron sights, and I put my aimpoint on here, you know, a decent little optic red dot. You can see the red dot there, and so hopefully this shows up pretty well. This is not a story that I haven't shared before, but I just wanted to make my point is that I have never needed backup iron sights except for one time. And the situation was I got up early with a buddy who lives out kind of in the middle of nowhere. We were going to go up and just do some target shooting in the morning and then just kind of go fool around and do our thing in the afternoon. So we got up and it was dewy out, misty, a little cool, and we went out to do a little target shooting, and I realized that as it's misting out, I'm getting a little bit of water on everything. So I've got a spray bottle here, and as you can see, you know, I can see that red dot. You know, these backup irons right here aren't co-witnessed with it, so I'm just going to put that down, but you'll get the point. As I'm looking through my red dot here, and it's misting, I've got a little bit of mist out there like that. And then on this side, on the other side, I've got a little bit of mist. And it's coming down, and what I'm realizing is I can't make out what I'm looking at beyond the water droplets. And now I've just misted this a little bit. You can obviously see through it still, but not only was it just kind of misting out and coming down, but I was getting like travel of the water coming down the optic, right? Just like that. And it didn't stop my optic. It didn't turn off the red dot. This seems to be a decently waterproof little optic, but it's what sold me on off-site backups, because even if these flip-ups were perfectly co-witnessed, it was the glass. It was whatever the glass was accumulating. Now, I've never been in a super dusty environment. You know, if you're in the desert, maybe that's an issue too. But the glass was blocking, you know, the function of these iron sights, which would have worked just fine. Now, you could argue that these things have a quick release here, and so I could have pulled it off. But what I don't like doing is taking that off because you don't put it in the right T-slot. I'm always a little paranoid that it's not going to be a perfectly re-zero, and so I'm going to have to do that again. So you could do that, but who has time to really bother with that? And, you know, I'm not under distress, but if you were, it's just nicer to be able to rotate your rifle, your pistol, and use these backup irons, because the rain, look at that, doesn't affect it at all. Doesn't affect it. Not at all. I can get it soaking wet, and the thing works just fine. But, you know, your red dot or your holographic or whatever you're using can be impeded by what generally happens every morning. It gets a little humid out. So that's my story with it. Maybe you don't have the same issue, but that's why every single one of my rifles has off-site irons. Peter von Panda, out.